Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. We are students from Faculty of Applied Science UiTM Tapah. Today, we will be presenting on the topic of burnout, misconceptions, and its coping mechanism. In this video, we will discuss further about the symptoms, misconceptions, effects, and tips on coping with burnout.
Hello everyone, I'm Faris Izani. So, in this video, I will be talking about the introduction of mental burnout. So, let's begin with the definition of mental burnout. As you can see in the slide, mental burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by overwhelmed stress. It means that you will not get mental burnout by only working for only one day, but instead, mental burnout is a gradual process which will drain out your energy from day by day, and it will make you become less productive than usual. Some of the examples of mental burnout that are happening among students are: students are lack of motivation to carry out their everyday tasks after a long weeks of just doing their assignments. Then, some of them are having trouble meeting their assignments deadlines. Students are also lost interest in social activities as they are very tired doing their assignments and want to have some rest to continue doing the other assignments.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatin Hanani binti Muhammad Shahrizal. As my part, I will explain about sign and symptom of burnout. As shown, there are 8 listed in the slide. First, loss of joy. Even though some event or things which are really an enjoyable moment, but the person who have burnout symptom have no feeling and doesn't find that the moment is fun. They also lost interest in anything that they liked to do before, or some always come up with many excuses when their friend invite them to any event or going to holiday. Secondly, forgetfulness. There are so many things in their brain that they may think of, so to some extent they feel like lazy to think about anything. When our mental state is not good, we are half aware of what we are doing at that particular moment. Next, frequent illness. Mental health is the key to the whole healthy condition of everyone. Stress weakens the immune systems and making someone simpler to get sick and more difficult to fight off infections. Anything happen actually due to our mindset. Thus, our mind are so important. Then, depression. This is actually related to the loss of joy because someone who has depression or lack of interest and sad all the time. They also find that their life is empty and useless. This symptom is a dangerous symptom among all of these because it has killed many people until now. Then, exhaustion. People who experience burnout will feel tired all day even they do nothing, and they just want to lay on their bed. It is not a normal tired, but extremely can affect their daily routine such as eating, bathing, and working or studying, which make it worse. Then, anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of fear or worry which can be mild or severe. It's normal sometimes to feel fear and worry, but in anxiety, it's quite dangerous because it leads to breathing problem. When this is happening, the person could be passing out or die in some cases. This is due to the unreach of oxygen to the brain. After that, less social. Person who undergoes burnout will push everyone away and want to be alone. This is because they feel like themselves is a burden to everyone, but in reality, people who want to surround them doesn't have that thinking at all. They also think that they can get along with others and end up will become more stressful. Lastly, lack of sleep. Usually, people who suffer with burnout always have a nightmare, which lead them to wake up. Plus, when they're just dreaming all the night, it feels like they're doing the action in their dream. So that's all for my part. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ainun and I will be explaining on the misconceptions that people have about burnout. So let's get started. The first misconception is that burnout is a sign of weakness. The reality is that burnout tends to hit the hardest to people who always push themselves towards their goal, the high performer type of people. The reason is that these people push beyond all boundaries that normally people would not be able to push through. So, it is a misconception that burnout is a sign of weakness, since burnout often hits people who are the strongest. The second one is that if you experience burnout, then you are broken for life. Emma Matthew, a woman who experienced burnout herself, stated in her video that she admitted this was probably the biggest limiting belief that she had in the burnout process. However, she said that burnout has changed her, but for the better. So, based on Emma's experience, we can see that even if you are experiencing burnout, you are not broken for life. And of course, this requires the right recovery techniques. The third one, which is the most common one, is that you are just a little bit tired, you just need a good night's sleep. Generally, if it is a severe burnout, it has been building for a very long time. Additionally, quoting from a professor from University of California, Christina Maslach, she stated that burnout is not simply exhaustion. Well, certainly, processes like more sleep and rest can stop you from getting hit by burnout. But once you are in it, sadly, it takes more than just a good night's sleep to come out from the burnout phase. And for the fourth one, there is a misconception that burnout just won't happen again. The reality is, unless you change how you manage yourself, the environment you're in, and having support, it can reoccur. Yes, burnout can be once and done if you make lasting changes, meaning that you're not in the situation that caused the trigger anymore. But with no lasting changes, it can be a recurring cycle of feeling good, pushing yourself too much, burning out, withdrawing, and the cycles repeat over and over again. To sum up, there are a lot more misconceptions about burnout, but I only focus on the most common one. I hope with this explanation, you will see the importance to acknowledge yourself about the right and wrong so that you can help and protect yourself, also people around you from experiencing burnout.
Hello and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Najah binti Muzaffar and I will be explaining about the 4 effects of burnouts, which are the physical impact of burnouts, cognitive changes, social and occupational dysfunction, and emotional dysregulation. Firstly, I will be explaining about the physical effects of burnouts. The exposure to prolonged stress can increase risk of accumulating cardiovascular disease, musculoskeletal disease, skin disease, and also insomnia. This is because people with burnout are in constant exhaustion, usually have a loss of appetite and lack sufficient sleep. This can easily weaken and damage the immune system. When the immune system fails to work efficiently, the human body are more prone to fall ill and to succumb to bacteria and viruses compared to those who are healthy. Thus, it proves how untreated burnout can drastically affect our physical health. Next, the effects of burnouts on cognitive changes. High level of stress and pressures from burnouts can lead to accelerated aging of the cortical structures and significant reductions in hippocampus activity, which has a major role in learning activity and developing memory. It is a vulnerable structure that can get easily damaged by a variety of stimuli. Thus, prolonged burnout can easily damage these brain functions, which will later lead to poor attention span, short-term memory, and also memory loss. The third effects of burnouts are social and occupational dysfunction. Burnouts can cause poor interpersonal communication and ineffectiveness in coping with multiple social roles in society. For example, someone with burnouts will usually feel drained, or even in some people, they'll feel a sense of dread. When someone feels so fatigued, this could lead to decreased performance at work, and they could also feel too tired to do things in their personal life. This may lead to frequent conflicts with other people and increase in tendency to self-isolate. Finally, depression and anxiety are also the effects of burnouts. Burnouts causes difficulties in regulating strong negative emotions and moods, which may lead to developing depression and anxiety. For example, burnouts can usually lead to feelings of anger, feeling down and depressed, and also feeling frustrated. When this occurs, those dealing with burnouts may experience detachment, pessimism, or irritability, all of which can impact daily life performances. Other than that, constant frustration will cause someone to develop a shorter temper and easily loses patience when dealing with challenging situations. That is all for me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day. My name is Nurul Hanis Abdurrahman Yasim and my student ID is 20194435. And so today I'm delighted to share with all of you what kind of coping mechanism that we can use to prevent and manage the burnout. So as we all know that burnout is caused by the excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet the constant demand. It can be hard to anticipate the burnout what is right. Thus, you can do to prevent the burnout from reaching its most intense way, as burnout doesn't go on its way, and if left untreated, it can lead you to a serious psychological and physical illness like depression and heart disease. So one of the techniques recommended by the psychologists is 3R, which are recognize, reverse, and resilience. According to psychologists, this method will help you to manage and control your burnout from each stages of stress and in a long-term period. So the first step of a 3R approach is recognizing when your body is stressed. You can do this by figuring out what are the early symptoms to help you to prevent you from getting burnt out at the earliest stages, like feeling detachment, loss of motivation, and increasingly cynical. So to help you to recognize your body parts, you can do the regular body scan by tense and relax each part of your body one by one. So this will help you to understand more what your body needs and see how affected your body are while you are stressed. And secondly, you can use the method of breathing practice. By doing so, you can improve it and you can recognize how affected your breathing are using this method when you are stressed. So this will help you to prevent you to have major breakdown so you will not get burnt out in the future. Next, the second approach is reverse. If you have been able to recognize your stress and deal with it, the next step that you can do is try to remove the source of stress from your life. So ask yourself what you can do to stop you from overthinking and feeling stressed, as our body and minds and really adaptive. So unless we push them too far, you can always reverse your neural pathway. So there are techniques that you can do in the reverse method by doing setting the boundaries in everything that you do. Learn manage the 4A method like accept, adopt, avoid, and alter in your life to prevent you from getting burnt out. And the second or the third one you can do is adopt healthy lifestyle by spending time in the creative side way, as to exercise, eating vegetable or eating balanced food to help you to be more conscious and healthy, and take a break from the social media or technology might help you to be more relaxed and having fun with yourself in the future. And not least, the last 3R approach is resilience, as resilience is to stress something you should try and build up all the time to prevent the burnout at the earliest stage, to help you to improve the ways that you deal with the stress and stop you from reaching the point of burnout by slowing down with your workload and get support by your family if you think you cannot take it anymore. According to psychologists, practicing mindfulness technique as well as meditations, affirmation, and breathing practice help you to be more conscious and be the tool for the time you are feeling stressed. Not only that, try to acknowledge your losses by being grateful and optimistic the opportunity that you might get in the future, and you can always reevaluate your goal and ensuring you to strive effectively beyond the optimal level. And last but not least, burnout is difficult to overcome, but you will get there if you are dedicated, and I hope that these 3 approaches might help you to prevent you from getting burnout in the future.
As for conclusion, mental burnout is a really serious matter. Therefore, we must always be aware of our mental health status, and please always practice a healthy lifestyle, especially during this pandemic. And last but not least, if you guys have a friend with mental burnout, please help them, as they are really in need of help from others. That is all from us. We wish the best for you guys during this pandemic, and always be healthy. Thank you for listening, and Assalamualaikum.